This is Aisle 42. One of the ways we can go behind the scenes of the sustainable food industry is to follow the money. And when there's an investor who puts his money where his health is, the conversation gets really interesting. I had a chat with Mike Fata, a man who wears many hats. He's a food business founder, entrepreneur, investor, consultant, coach, and now author. From a personal health transformation that led him to lose a whopping 100 pounds, to pioneering in the world of hemp farming and functional foods, Mike's story is a testament to the power of change, innovation, and resilience. In this episode, you'll hear Mike's take on food as medicine and how grocery shopping and food shapes our lives. He also talks about what he looks for in food leaders and shares his process for aligning our life and our work with our personal values. So buckle up for an inspiring conversation about life, health, startups, and the transformative power of food. The future of food is brighter when people like this are at the boardroom table. Here's Mike Fata. All right, Mike, you're an entrepreneur, food business founder, investor, consultant, coach, now author. You've got a million things going on, but thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
To kick things off, let's look into the future for my first question. If you were to imagine the perfect grocery store, what would it look like? What would your ideal grocery shopping experience be like?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's probably a combination of a Whole Foods market with a little bit of the Amazon self checkout. I do like a grocery store that has only all natural ingredients, so nothing artificial or processed in it, but with the efficiency and ease of just getting in and actually getting what you want and getting out.
Yeah, like the computers, the robots just scan your bags on the way out.
Yeah, maybe people will be a little freaked out about that. Not so much on me on the scanners or weighing or whatever. I think that's probably the next step to the self checkouts.
It's coming for us. It's coming. Let's go back in time. Your journey into the world of food business came after a personal transformation. Your journey back to health obviously sparked a fire in you. Can you share a little bit about your journey and how food played its role in your life when you were younger, especially?
Yeah, I wasn't educated about health when I was young, so I didn't understand that. And as much as the commercials playing, I remember "You are what you eat." I just didn't understand that you were made up of all the things that you put into your mouth, and ate too much fast food when I was younger. And at 18 years old, I found myself weighing 300 pounds and sick and tired all the time, and then decided to do something about it and went on a whole health journey, lost 100 pounds, got into the health food business, but really started to learn on how much of your body, mind, emotion, kind of everything about you can change by changing what you put into your mouth.
That's amazing. And that kind of led you down what seems like a pretty unlikely experience into hemp farming and hemp production. At that time, many years ago, it was kind of on the illegal side of things. What did you see when that started to change and you and your team started to make products made from hemp? What was it like to see people get excited about something that you guys were making that was really, really new?
Yeah, I fell in love with hemp first because of the nutritional properties. I always liked hemp and I thought it was cool, being a relative of cannabis or, being outlawed. And I thought that it was, I could stand up for this kind of misspoken, misunderstood plant. But after going on a no fat diet myself and learning the hard way that your body needs essential fatty acids, kind of why omega 3 and omega 6 are called essential fatty acids, I really fell in love with the product. And then when we started to introduce it to people, a lot of people were doing similar to I was at that time, and eating this no fat diet, which was really popular in the 1990s. And then when they suffering ailments and illnesses that were really contributed to not getting any healthy fats in the diet. And so when they started eating hemp hearts that we were providing, quickly a community formed of like-minded people that were taking charge of their health through their diet and nutrition, and discovered this superfood that had a huge impact on how they felt. And we got all these testimonials that came into the business, whether it was from senior citizens or people that were struggling from having allergies and all these food sensitivities. So it was the driving force that fired me up in the early days of the business when what we were trying to do, bring hemp foods to market, was nearly impossible at that time. And so it was that was the extra motivation of getting all this super positive feedback from people that it was having an impact on their health.
So good. Thanks for the share on that one. So now, after a couple of successful financial exits and efforts in the business community have kind of taken on a bit of a different role. You're spending a lot of time making and supporting your investments into food products that are good for people and the planet. But good business always comes down to great leadership. And I'm curious to know, what kinds of qualities are you looking for in food leaders that fit with your vision for the future of food?
That's a great question. Yeah, for me, my investments are all products that I've discovered that I like having in my house. That they're always on the top of the grocery shopping list. And then being a natural products entrepreneur myself for 25 years, I'm always interested in meeting the founders behind the business. And when I meet the founders, two things for me, like I'm looking for competency, that the individual is, smart and actionable, and can build a good business. And I'm also looking for fit, someone that I literally want to have over at my house for dinner or sleep at my house, and we can like network with and hang out and strategize with. That I think that fit is very important in life and business as well. And when you combine those things, like a great product and a great founder, then building a business into a world class enterprise or a very large business is very possible with time and effort.
Yeah, I agree. Your book, I grabbed it and read it en route to the industry event in Toronto that we are both at. And writing a book is always a challenging effort. What was that experience like to actually put all your ideas and plans and schemes and relationships and things into a book and actually hit publish? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was a focused effort for sure, about 18 months. But I had it on my to-do list for like a decade before that. So I thought it into or envisioned it into reality long before I stepped up and decided, okay, now's the time. But it was 18 months from start to finish to write and edit and design and prepare for launch. And I have two kids that are now teenagers, so I'd say it was like birthing a baby. It took a lot of effort. I'm not sure that I have other books in me. Well, time will tell on that one, but I for sure had that one in me, and I wanted to share it for a very long time.
That's awesome. You can always go into other categories like coloring pages or sticker book. That's always the way to go.
Yeah, I just like I think that some of the messages and learnings that I share are just underrepresented. They're not shared enough. There's different ways to be successful and strategies and tactics that people can be successful in life, whether they're an entrepreneur or they just want to, they're not happy with the personal space that they're in, and they want to personally grow out of that space. So I just wanted to make sure that I had my voice and what I've experienced in life. I could share that to help others.
And you also not only tell your stories and your take on things, but what you see in others and their journey along the way in business and in entrepreneurship, and that lens that you've been able to apply to their journey. It was pretty insightful. I really enjoyed reading it. In your book, you talk about aligning your life and your work with your values. What is it about the food business and food people that have taught you about living a better life and about your leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer that we are what we put in our mouth, right? And for a number of years now, the food industry became more about profit before people, and highly processed foods, convenience foods, cheap foods. And I don't, from my personal experience, that's not going to make this world a healthier place. But I'm fortunate that I have my dad is from, so I have half my roots are in Italy, where food is much more than that. It's much more than the quality of nutrition that you're eating. It is also an opportunity to put together and bring together community, and that's what the natural products industry is about for me. It's about myself and making myself healthier, but then sharing that with others to help make this world a healthier place. And again, both physically, like the nutrients that we put into our mouth, but you know when we get around and we form community, and the goal of the community is to help lift each other up and make each other better, and make this world a better place. that doesn't feel like work to me at all. I could do that all day long, and whether it's my passion project, or what I tell people, like if it feels like a hobby for you but you're getting paid for it, like those are the things you want to seek out in life. It may not be about food for you, it may be about painting, or sport, or building houses, or whatever it is. But if you could find that, you're going to become unstoppable.
Business leaders are always looking for a way to get better, stronger, faster, generate more success. But as you kind of call it in your book, like being unstoppable, that's one of those things that I think a lot of people aspire to. But it sounds very enticing to become more unstoppable in business. But what is it that stands out to you as the most important growth area for a leader?
Well, you got to be your healthiest self, or your best self. I think best self includes health. You need to be physically healthy, because we all know that whether you're an entrepreneur or you're just working for someone in business, it could be a lot of work, right? It's really tough, and so you have to be physically healthy, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And you have to be mentally strong as well, and emotionally strong, because business is not for the faint of heart. Like, I can remember many times, and I'm open about this obviously in the book, that I cried myself to sleep at night because I didn't see a clear direction, or a clear path for the next day, or how we were going to get over some of the obstacles that we were facing at the time. So I think you have to be your best self. I like to think that being an entrepreneur is like being an athlete. You need to sleep and eat and train like you're going to be your best self every day, and being ready for competition. And part two of that is to be really passionate about what you're doing, or like align your personal interests with your business interests. Because I think if you could put those two things together, you're really well set up to be able to do it for longevity, maybe even do it for a lifetime. And if you're so crazy about something that you would do it for the rest of your life, and you have the physical, the means to do it, you're going to get people that want to come along for that ride. And I look at all, we had up to 200, over 200 team members at Manitoba Harvest at our peak. And I always, take them out for coffee, and just chat with the various parts of our team, and ask them like why they were super stoked to be working at Manitoba Harvest. And they're like, I'm super stoked because you're super stoked. Like they could see that vision, and they wanted to be part of it. That's my take on like true leadership. That's true leadership from the inside.
You and I have a very shared experience in that when I walked into Expo West, the big natural organic trade show, and I walked into that door, and that big waft of smells, that plant-based smell, and that sugar, and all the different smells that are in a food trade show. And the first thing that came to mind in this cacophony of it was just chaos was, these are my people. I just had this feeling, and it just hit me right in the chest, where I just felt so comfortable and excited and motivated and challenged and threatened, and all these feelings kind of came to mind. And you write about that too, like just you kind of being around people where these are people. So I'm wondering, as you've been progressing through your career, and as sort of now you're involved in a lot of food businesses, not just one or two, you're sort of really hopping in and out of a lot of different, boardrooms and production facilities. What is it when you look ahead to the future and you see consumer packaged goods and things that are filling our grocery stores? Is there something that gets you really excited down the road and you think about, this is where the food industry could go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's happening. It's maybe not happening at the rate that I would like, but hopefully it's coming more to the tipping point. I think the world is waking up to healthier food. And when I started 25 years ago now in the industry, the natural and organic products industry was about 5% of food. So 95% of food was highly processed or processed food. 5% was natural and or certified organic. And now that's upwards of 10%, 10, maybe 11, 12%. So maybe we're coming to the tipping point, and that's going to start to escalate and happen faster. We know that the pandemic woke a number of people up and said like, hey, I need to take control of my health, and what I put in my mouth, and how I live my life each day. But I would just love to see the and when I started my own health journey 25 years ago, you couldn't get any great products in a grocery store. You had to go to a natural food store, and those natural food stores are great, but they were halfway across town, and they're only open certain hours and stuff. And now you can go to Safeway and Sobeys and Loblaws and Costco and Walmart and all these places to get healthy food products, natural foods, organic foods, and I'm hopeful that one day the tides flip and it's like at least 51% healthy food that's in the food system, and I think this world would be a healthier place for it.
Brilliant. You just answered my next question, which is a great problem to have. But I sure get excited about, the natural and organic grocery aisle. That's sort of at times in certain retail, it's sort of relegated to that aisle. And if it's not in that aisle, then it's probably not findable anywhere else. But certainly get excited about it. Organic products, especially getting outside of that aisle and working their way into more and more products and sustainable production, regenerative systems, kind of I think technology is going to play a role, but clearly consumer demand and expectations and the bar getting raised higher and higher is going to play a big role in that for sure.
Yeah, and we're already seeing that. Like, it's maybe it's more simple in some categories, like organic ketchup was probably one of the first. So, okay, ketchup made from organic tomatoes and other organic ingredients without the preservatives. Oh, wow. And then consumers can go, instead of a $3 bottle of ketchup, I'm going to pay $4, and that makes sense to me. They want cleaner food. But, we're seeing now, because of the success of the industry over the last couple decades, every different food category being broken down and being made different, made with more simple ingredients, made with more whole food ingredients, made with shorter shelf life, made so it's sold in the refrigerator so it could be fresh instead on a dry shelf for a year. I think the industry has shown a lot of entrepreneurs that they could break down any one of these food products and reinvent it and be super successful with that. And so I think we're going to see that across every single category, every food product. And to your point there, whether it's being done at retail, like store within a store, the aisle that has all the healthy stuff or the natural and organic food, or integrated into the set, so you could just walk by and say, "Hey, am I going to choose Heinz ketchup, the regular one, or do I want the organic one, or whatever the product category is? Organic olive oil instead of the olive oil mixed with canola oil, or whatever." It makes it easier on the end consumer to understand it, because we're still in a day and age that, yeah, more people are reading food labels, but a lot of people don't understand why they would invest more, why they would pay a couple cents more or a couple dollars more to support these type of products.
You have a lot of products in your business ecosystem and obviously your personal one. When it comes to some of the businesses that you're involved with, can you just share some of them? I feel like maybe I'm losing track. Should I just hit refresh on your website every few days just to see what's changed? But what are some of the companies that you're involved with, and what gets you excited about seeing them grow?
One of the first businesses that after and I should just say, I'm a recovering entrepreneur, so I'm not operating any of the businesses. I support the businesses through investment, through advising, coaching the founders. One of the first businesses I invested in after I left Manitoba Harvest, we got out of the hemp food business, was Ohm Mushrooms, so functional mushrooms. It's very similar to the hemp food business, actually. That functional mushrooms have such efficacy to them. They can literally change people's immune systems and be very supportive to all these different healing aspects of functional mushrooms, but nobody knows about it. Like hemp hearts, no one knows about it. And so I got involved with Ohm in 2018, and so it's now 5 years in that business. We operate a certified organic mushroom growing facility in Carlsbad, California, and then make a number of different finished products, but also mushroom ingredients that other companies are using. One of my portfolio companies, Soul Cuisine, was the leader in plant-based foods, plant-based protein foods in Canada. We actually sold the business last year, but I was involved there for 3.5 years. I'm wearing Buddha Brands hat right now. I love wearing literally the logos on my sleeve of the portfolio companies. And Buddha Brands is in coconut water and functional beverages. Nuts for Cheese, which you mentioned earlier, is making the best organic plant-based cashew cheeses.
And butters. I just bought the butter. It's very good.
Yeah, and cream cheeses. So the whole line of not of plant-based dairy, and which was something for me. Like I'm a flexitarian. I've been probably every diet I've tried on in my 25 years of going through my health journey. So I've been actually a vegetarian. I've been vegan. I was a raw food vegan, but now I'd say, I'm a flexitarian. I'm a qualitarian. I eat mostly the Mediterranean diet, so lots of fruits and vegetables, but I do eat meat and some animal products. But cheese was one that I never felt good when I ate cheese. Whether I don't know if I had maybe have a slight dairy allergy. It always upset my stomach. And so when I met Margaret Coons, the founder of Nuts for Cheese, and tried the product, I was like, this is no sacrifice. This is better than actual cheese. Like the experience is such like a cheese, but it's made from organic cashews. And so I chair Margaret's board now, and we just 5 times expanded the facility in London, Ontario, and really expanding the product selection and the distribution. Midday Squares, which maybe some of your listeners will be familiar with because they make a lot of noise on social media telling the story.
Like a reality TV show. Oh, that happens to make a yummy bar.
Functional chocolate bar, yeah. And the portfolio is growing. I realized that I kind of got to maybe choose one product or one brand in each major category that I want to invest in. And so I've been doing that now for 4 years, I guess almost 5 years. And there's 10 companies in my portfolio, and there'll be more too. I'm not rushing into any investment, but I've literally talked to over 1,000 entrepreneurs over the last couple of years. Because of my success, I get a lot of pitches of being involved in people's businesses. And if it's the right product that I love in my house, and it's the right founder, then I have this fascination for helping good people and good products, grow it into a world-class business.
That's awesome. Good deal. Well, appreciate everything that you're doing, and all these things are also doing good things for the planet. So really appreciate all the hard work and for sharing the journey and the process. It's really cool. So thanks for joining me, and I really appreciate the time, Mike.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Man alive, Mike is a cool guy, so smart, so chill. I hope you enjoyed listening to his story, his take on natural foods, and his leadership mojo. That's it for now. Don't forget to visit aisle42podcast.com to get into our draw for the grocery gift card. I'll see you in the future.